Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Founders Day, which is a new slasher film from the Blomquist brothers, Eric and Carson. Eric and Carson co-writing, Eric starring and directing this film, and this focuses on a small town is shaken up by a series of ominous killings in the days leading up to a heated mayoral election, and this red-masked white wig, gavel-wielding serial killer is on the loose. And we have Naomi Grace, who is Allison, our main character, who experiences some loss and then goes on trying to figure out what the heck is going on in this small town. The conspiracy is a lot bigger than you might expect. There's so many twists and turns in this story, and by the end, the last 10-15 minutes of this has some really heavy, interesting, and bold choices from a thematic standpoint and a narrative standpoint, and I'm like, I just wish, the hour and 30 minutes up to that point were just as interesting, but unfortunately they're not. This has such a bold resolution to this story, but all the groundwork that went up to that point just is not really existent. Everything is so messy and convoluted in the way the story is presented. From a technical standpoint, it doesn't really add much. There's some awkward, choppy editing. I think it's an interesting design of the killer and the mask and everything, and how this all deepens all the other elements of this story, from the election and the contentiousness between mayoral candidates. That all comes into play and is relevant to this story, so it does at least feel like these threads are coming together. It's just this film also leans so heavily into all different kinds of cliches. There's quite a few moments where characters act completely irrationally, and you're just like, wow, rolling eyes at some of these characters in terms of what they do. Unfortunately, most of the cast is extremely inconsistent from an acting standpoint, where some scenes are effective enough and others just take you completely out of the film with horrible line readings and over-the-top reactions. But William Russ of Boy Meets World fame, who played the father in that show, he is really a great anchor to this. He's an interesting and compelling character, and his performance is consistently great, but honestly, he's the only one that you could really say about that. So many things are inconsistent. The kills are uninspired and not particularly interesting. Some of them awkwardly bad, and there's some unintentionally funny elements. Says that it's supposed to be a comedy, but it never gives you the sense that it's really supposed to be funny. It just comes off being awkward and laughable, which is not great. This film, in terms of its structure, it swings wild when it reveals different things, and like I said, by the end, this had some big, complex ideas. It never really reinforced them or laid down the groundworks throughout the rest of this film to really build up to a point where you have something satisfying like that. So in the end, this is a clunky, awkward, uninspired slasher flick that had some interesting potential, but wasted on just trying to go paint by the numbers like many of previous slasher films have done. But those are my thoughts on Founders Day. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.